I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're diving into the heart of American sports culture. We're taking a look at a terrific book. It is called Stadiums of America, and it's written by a wonderful author, a terrific photographer. His name is MichaelANowotny. This visually striking book captures everyday beauty and abstract artistry of football, baseball, and college stadiums across the United States. It's a must-have for sports fans, photo art lovers, and anyone who finds magic in the architecture of the game. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his amazing book. The links are below this interview. Michael, thank you so much for joining me here
Yeah,
today.
thank you, Logan. So
Great to have you on the show. This
thank you,
book
thank you,
is
thank you.
wonderful. You are quite a photographer. As I understand, you've been shooting pictures for quite a long time.
Yeah, I got into the business, I would say, a little bit around 50 years ago. And what happened was at the time, Logan, uh, my friend built a dark room in his basement, right?
Mhm.
And I went over there one day and I just got hooked on it.
Yeah.
It's been a passion in my life ever since. I mean, I was in law enforcement, most of my life in that, and I did photography there. But yeah, that's how I started, is about 50 years ago. And
Very cool.
I love taking images.
Yeah, working in the dark room can be fun. I did that a little bit in high school. Do you
Uh-huh.
still shoot film or do you shoot digitally now?
No, I'm completely digital now,
Mhm.
and my main goals, with my photography right now is fine art photography, and
Mhm.
I've been featured in many juried shows around the country with moderate success, awards and stuff like that. And but yeah, I do not do the darkroom stuff. It's basically digital now, and that's the way I want to keep it.
Exactly. That's where the future is. That's where the present is. That's for sure. What made you decide to combine photography with sports architecture for this book?
Okay, well, my main sports thing is, I'm into auto racing, and
Mhm.
I got an affiliation with a group called fastcarphotos.com. But what made me start on this, okay, for this book we're talking, right? And anyhow, me and my brother were talking on the phone. My brother lives in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Mark Nowotny is his name. And we were talking on the phone, and he just said, you got nothing better to do. Why don't you go around the country taking pictures of stadiums?
Mhm.
And so we started formulating that into the idea of the book. And then I started shopping for a publisher, and I came across Book Writing Lane out in San Francisco,
Mhm.
and they were kind enough to publish the book. I mean, it was, and Stadiums America, for what it's worth, was published on July 4th, 2024, which I think is kind of cool. You can
Yeah.
read it in the thing. But yeah, that's how we got started on the book, and we formulated then. And then after that, Logan, what I did is I started taking the pictures, and I did, like the Northwest. I didn't go to every stadium in the country, but I started in the Northwest. Well, I started here in Wisconsin with like Lambeau Field and AmFam Field and Camp Randall for the University of Wisconsin. But then I went to the Northwest to visit my daughter, and I did like University of Maine, and then I went down to Boston, and I'm not Boston, but I went to Foxworth and got Gillette Stadium. And then I thought, well, I'm only 20 minutes away from Boston, another place I'd suggest nobody ever drive in their life. But and that's where I got Fenway Park, and where the cover idea came up in that.
Yep.
And after that, it was 7,511 miles I put on my car, just
Wow.
driving around taking pictures. I mean, as far as Miami, the West Coast, and stuff like that.
Which do you prefer? The old time stadiums? Yankee Stadium's been refurbished. Shea
Right.
Stadium has been
Okay.
refurbished. Fulton County Stadium has been refurbished. I kind of like the old gritty stadiums myself.
Okay.
I know they're more comfortable to be in the big, beautiful stadiums that they've built recently.
Mhm.
But what's your preference? What do you like?
Well, like you said, Logan, I would prefer the old time stadiums too, right? I mean, we had County Stadium here in Milwaukee. That was a great ballpark. I mean, Hank Aaron played there, and
Yeah.
people like that, and Milwaukee Braves. But yeah, I would prefer, and I prefer the older stadiums. But as you well know, Logan, and reviewing stuff, my book is basically photography because that's all I do, right? I'm not a writer and or sculptor or anything like that. And it was based on doing, how do I say it, architectural outside the stadium pictures, right? I wanted no people in it, no fans, no nothing. And when I started doing the book, going through with my attorney, whatever, he he suggested, he says, you're not doing anything wrong here, and copyright should be okay because you're basically taking photos of what people see every day
Right.
when they walk by a stadium. And that was the basis behind what we're going to do.
Aesthetically, what's your favorite stadium? Is there the prettiest one out there in your opinion, or maybe
Okay.
it's the surroundings?
No, my favorite stadium, I have to say, was Kezar Stadium in San Francisco.
Mhm.
Why? That was used in the movie Dirty Harry. The 49ers played, I think, from 46 to 70.
Yeah.
But Kezar, eh, being in an old time just in a neighborhood, and I guess they play soccer there now. But out of all the stadiums, I'm going to say that was my favorite. And my second favorite was Allegiant Stadium in Nevada, Las Vegas,
Mhm.
and that one I've used in some art shows, and I've actually gotten awards for that photograph. So, but
Wonderful,
yeah.
wonderful. And I understand you've also worked with National Public Radio in the past. Tell us a little bit about those collaborations.
Well, that's kind of a bizarre thing. I'm not a bizarre thing, but I was in an art show at the Art Barn in Valparaiso, Indiana,
Mhm.
and this guy comes up and he starts talking to me, and I started talking about my book and my art and everything. And he looks at me, he says, you'd be great to be on our show called Art on the Air. And so he got me involved with it. And that's why I did the interview on NPR.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Mhm.
You've worn a lot of hats. You're an artist, you're a photographer, you've worked on National Public Library, Radio rather, and you're a former deputy sheriff. Tell us about a little bit about your work there.
At this deputy sheriff, Logan,
Yeah,
as
you
a
worked
deputy
as a
sheriff.
former
Oh,
deputy sheriff. Yeah.
it was law enforcement, and I have to say, I spent 27 years with the Milwaukee Sheriff's Department, Milwaukee County Sheriff's Department. I finished up in the Witness Protection Unit, which was very interesting work.
Yeah.
But my law enforcement job, I have to say, I enjoyed that. That was a great career. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it was, but it's great that you've had such a varied career. What do you hope people take away from your book when they look at these beautiful stadiums and arenas around the
Mhm.
United States?
Well, like I said, some of the books I sold at like book signings and that, people say, well, we want to visit all the stadiums. I think this is going to help when you look at stuff like that. I thought, okay, that's cool. But the big thing I want out of it is looking at the art, okay? And, stadiums, of course, but the art is my big thing in life. And yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want to do there.
Was it tough shooting Fenway? I mean, because it's kind of like packed into a downtown area. It's hard almost to see it, right?
As I stated there, Logan, I went into Boston driving, okay? I had a rental car or whatever, and my camera and all that sort of stuff. And I have to say, and I know this is a family show, but you do not want to hear half the words that I was using driving through Boston. And the thing that I thought was cool was I turned the corner, went a half a block down, boom, right in front of me, Fenway Park.
Yeah.
And I
It's
got my
amazing.
shots.
The traffic is horrible in Boston, worse than New York City, in my opinion. And like you said, you drive down the Back Bay area and boom, there's Fenway right there.
Mhm.
So it must have been a really fun adventure going around the country to capture all of these stadiums. Tell us about the adventure part of it.
The adventure was, yeah, it was some of the driving. I mean, going out west after leaving Lincoln, Nebraska, and I was heading to Denver, Colorado. I forget highway it was, but it goes on an angle out of Nebraska into Denver, and
Mhm.
I ran into a snowstorm there, and it was white knuckle driving, Logan, and that was kind of the fun for what it is, the adventure.
Yeah.
Going through not Logan said Donner Pass, that was another adventure because of rain, snow, and just the mountains and everything. And yeah, but it was a total adventure. Like I said, I went down to Miami to take photos of Dolphin Stadium, I forget what it's called right now, and a couple the baseball stadium down there, Marlins, and I was in the Air Force at Homestead Air Force Base, Florida. So that was part of the deal too. I was only like 20 miles away when I was taking the photograph. I said, I got to go back to my old stomping grounds at Homestead Air Force Base. So I
Mhm.
went down there, and that was fun. But they wouldn't let me on the base, which kind of torqued me off because
Yeah.
it showed my D form 214, and they wouldn't let me on the base. But yeah, that was part of the adventure. Just the driving around the country and
Yeah.
see. I mean, I've been to some of the cities before, a lot of cities before. San Francisco, Las Vegas. That I didn't go in town and gamble or anything, but
Mhm.
I thought that was a neat time too.
Yeah.
Just to
Traveling with a
try it.
mission, traveling with a purpose is a great way to do it. Vacation's one thing, but when you've got a journey in mind that has a set destination and a set goal, I think it's actually kind of more fun. Let's talk
Right.
about what you use to capture these images. Are you a Nikon guy, a Canon guy, a Sony guy? Tell us a little bit about your gear.
I'm a Canon guy all my life. Okay,
Mhm.
and Nikon guys, but no, I'm just kidding. But I've been a Canon guy all my life. I started with a FTB, and right now I got two 90Ds, which is digital camera. And what I
Mhm.
really like about the 90D is you can transfer your stuff to websites. They got a website on there, and what I'm trying to say, I mean Wi-Fi. They have Wi-Fi on it, so I can transfer my photos like immediately. If I bring my laptop or iPad or whatever along, and that's half the fun. And I use Canon lenses, and like I said, I have two Canon 90Ds. I have a 18 to 400 was kind of my all-purpose lens, and I have on the other camera I have a 160 to 600, which is
Mhm.
great when I do like auto racing photos and stuff like that. So
Wonderful, wonderful. Tell us about your love for race cars.
okay, that started back when my parents took me to see the movie Grand Prix with James Garner back in 1967.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a little story about that in a minute. But I got hooked on it. Me and my brother both got hooked on auto racing, and I've been a big fan ever since. And
Mhm.
I like Formula One racing. I like IndyCar. Not a big fan of NASCAR, but I know about it. And over the years, I just made some great connections
Mhm.
within the auto racing world, right? And taking pictures. Like I said, my friend Kurt Roussel developed or has a website now called Fast Car Photos. I'm a contributing photographer to that, right?
Awesome.
But we help develop it, and yeah, and that's gotten us, actually jobs with the race car people all over the place.
Oh, very cool. Do
So
you
can I
like the
tell you?
ponies as well? Do you like thoroughbreds?
No, I'm not a big horse racing fan, and to tell you the truth, state is America. I'm a fan of baseball, but not a big fan. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But okay, I want to tell you this story. Yeah,
Yep.
Logan. Okay, 1978. My father's getting divorced from my mom. No big deal. And he says, "Hey, let's go on a trip someplace." I said, "Let's go to the Monaco Grand Prix in
Wow.
Monaco." So we start planning our trip, right? And getting flight tickets and all this sort of stuff, and Eurail passes because we have relatives in Lomprecht, Germany. So we're going to go visit them. We're also going to go up to Copenhagen. Our main thing was going to Monaco. So what I did is I wrote a letter to the Monaco Grand Prix saying we were an upstart racing magazine out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's all BS. And then the Upstart Racing magazine out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that we're sending over a photographer and a reporter.
Yeah.
So anyhow, they write back to me a letter in French. Didn't understand. I get it interpreted at the school, and they said, "Well, we got your letter here, and we'll get back to you." They never got back to me. So me and my dad go on our trip. On the Thursday before the Monaco Grand Prix, I walk into the media room, and the lady first goes, well, "No, we don't have anything here." And then I got to the guy in charge. He says, "If you came over here from the United States of America to get into the Monaco Grand Prix for free, you're nuts." And I said, "Okay, can I go?" So we finally got up to the vice president of media operations, right? And I'm telling my dad, I said, "Just be quiet. Don't say a darn thing." We finally got called into this guy's office. He had, I go off on him, right? I said, "I feel disrespected. You didn't get back to me, blah, 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 blah." He reaches in the drawer and hands us two press passes for the weekend. And I thought, great, this is fabulous. And when I started shooting the race, actually, we toured Monaco and that was kind of cool too, because we went to a bar one night and I met Ringo Starr. And but anyhow, yeah, for the start of the race, I was shooting on the wall in Mario Andretti's pits, and right across the way was Princess Grace and Prince Rainier. And that was
Amazing.
that was a great trip.
Amazing. All of that is mind-blowing. First of all, 1978 to take a trip like that was extraordinary. It's not
Right,
like today where people are flying all over the world
right,
willy-nilly.
right.
That was a big trip. But for you to have the chutzpah, as we say in New York, to get yourself two press
Yeah,
passes for the week at the Grand
right.
Prix is
Mhm,
amazing. That's a memory with your dad you must
mhm.
cherish always. That's just a
Oh yeah,
beautiful story.
unfortunately, my dad died when he was 83, about 10 years ago, and but yeah, that is an amazing story. And I
Yeah.
got a few others to go with you. I'm kind of, how can I say it, Logan? I'm an adventurer. I like to
Mhm.
go places, right? I'm a very extroverted person,
Yeah.
a people person, and I traveled around the world for like 5, 6 years with my aunt.
Mhm.
Just going to different countries and stuff like that. That was great. But yeah,
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, wonderful life you're living. Keep going
I'm trying.
strong. This book is incredible, folks. It is called Stadiums of America. It is an unforgettable visual journey through the soul of America's sports arenas. The photography is all by Michael. It is amazing. It is captivating. It captures the essence of America and America's favorite
Mhm.
pastimes.
And
Michael, thank you so much for joining us here.
yeah, one other thing, Logan, I'd like to put this on there. I'd like to thank George Hutchinson of San Antonio, Texas, for doing the forward in the book, which was
Yep.
amazing. And what's the other thing I want to say? Don't forget you can pick up the book on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and Walmart, and a few other platforms. I don't know what they are, but I
Awesome.
know those for sure. And that's all online stuff. You could order the book there. And there you go.
Awesome. And the links will be below this interview. Michael, thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thanks, Logan. I appreciate this. This is great.
I appreciate your time, your insight, your enthusiasm, and that wonderful story about Monaco. I wish I had a story like that about me and my dad. That is great. Love it. To the
Very
folks at
good.
home,
Thank
I'm
you.
Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.